Hi, it's Ashley. I just wanted to give an update today on how I'm getting on with my Ultra Touring 4 after 500 miles. So the Touring 4 from Ultra have been my daily trainer now for getting on for around 9 months. I really like the shape of them. They've got the nice wide toe box. They're zero drop, so they've got the same stack height, about 26mm at the heel as they have at the forefoot as well. Got a fantastic grip pattern on the bottom, and the lockdown is brilliant across the top because of the lacing system. And yeah, I've got on pretty well with them. There's a couple of things that I'm not that keen on, so let's get into a bit more detail on it. The wide toe box is fantastic. I haven't got particularly massively wide feet, but I really like the idea of them being the zero drop and the wide toe box. So as you go through your running cycle, it gives a really natural gait, allows your toes real room to splay as you're going through your running cycle, which is a really nice sensation. It's a good feeling to have. These were the first pair of Ultra I had and the first pair of zero drop shoes that I had. And since having these, I've also got a pair of Ultra Superior 4, which are the trail running shoes, and also a pair of minimal barefoot Merrell Vapor Glove 4. I've got reviews for both of those on my channel. So you can check those out if you want to see how I'm getting on with the zero drop and the more barefoot natural kind of gait with the zero drop shoes. The lockdown in these is probably one of the best things about the Touring 4. They're absolutely fantastic. They've got a inner lacing system which goes through the strip on the tongue, keeps everything locked in, everything nice and dialed in, stops the tongue from sliding around in there, and it just works extremely well. The inner section, this red metallic sort of section here, is fantastic. It really gives a great sensation of locking the foot in across this section here. With it being such a wide toe box, I think it's very important to be able to get a good lockdown so your foot isn't sliding around within the actual wide toe box there, particularly if you're like myself and haven't got a massively wide foot. It's still nice to have that space in there, that breathing ability, without having them sort of your foot sliding around and giving discomfort or getting blisters and things like that on your soles of your feet. There's a nice bit of padding around the heel and Achilles, but it's not excessive, so it doesn't add particularly to any weight. I've said before in an initial video on these that even though it looks like there's quite a lot of built up or build up around this heel section, it's really not. It's very, very soft and very, very comfortable to run in. It doesn't mean that there's a massive amount of support there, so if you're looking for something with a huge amount of support, then probably go for something which is more of a supportive shoe. But for me, these are absolutely brilliant. It means on a longer run that they're not too restrictive, they're not constricting my heel in any way. It's still got a bit of movement in there, just enough to make it really, really comfortable. The tongue's got a nice bit of padding at the end, but it's fairly thin through the rest of it, again, saving a little bit of weight. And I think these are a great looking shoe. The midsole is the Quantic midsole. I think this is one of the first shoes that Ultra used the Quantic midsole in, and I think they also use it now in quite a few others. I know my Superior are Quantic as well, my Superiors. It's had really good longevity as well. I'm 500 miles into these, or thereabouts, and it still feels good. I have noticed that they've started to feel a little bit less cushioned in about the last 30-40 miles. So, and I'm just starting to notice that they're not feeling quite as cushioned as they did when I first got them. But I think that that's still a fantastic amount of mileage. And I've used these, as I say, for a daily trainer, so not just long runs or fast runs, but everything in between. I've done pretty quick 5Ks in them. I've done tempo work. Longest run I've done in these is 52k, so about 31-32 miles, and they were brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Such a comfortable shoe to go a distance like that in. I also set my PB on a half marathon, so it's 13.1 miles, about 21k, at just under 1 hour 45 in these. So I'm really pleased with them. So 500 miles in, let's have a look at any wear. There is zero wear around any of the upper. They literally look exactly the same as they did when they were brand new. There's no seams coming undone, no stitching coming unstitched, no welded overlays peeling, absolutely nothing. They are literally like brand new. I can't believe that. After 500 miles, the actual durability of these has been amazing for the uppers. Absolutely brilliant. They've not worn thin around the cushioning on the heel, all the sides. Tongue still feels nice and padded. It feels and looks as new. They are absolutely brilliant. So quite surprised at that. I don't know why, but 500 miles in, uppers, no wear, no tear. No holes, no rips, no seams coming undone, no welded overlays peeling, nothing. 5 out of 5 for the uppers. Brilliant. The midsole, 500 miles in, like I say, it has just started to lose a bit of its cushion. It still feels quite responsive, but yeah, it's started to lose a little bit of its comfort and a little bit of its initial, initial 0 to 450 mile cushioning that it had originally, but it's still brilliant. I'd still take them out. I mean, I did a 10-mile running them today and they felt absolutely fantastic, so really good. Happy with that. Like I say, just starting to not feel quite as cushioned as they have done, so they're starting to break down the midsole in them, so maybe about a 4 out of 5, 3.5, 4 out of 5 for the midsole after 500 miles. There's been a fair bit of wear, as you'd imagine, after this kind of mileage in the grip on the bottom, but it's nowhere has it actually worn all the way through. They did have quite a lot of grip on the bottom here, quite a lot of fine grip. The fine grip along this lateral edge has completely gone. They are absolutely smooth and flat now, as they are along this sort of 4-foot section here, where the ball of your foot would be. They've gone pretty flat across there, and also on the outer edge of the heel here as well. But that being said, I've never lost grip in them. I never feel like I'm struggling for traction or anything like that in them, whether I'm going fast on wet leaves or you know, it's pretty wet and soggy and slimy out there underfoot. Never feel like I'm losing traction or having problems getting grip. And even when I've been out, sometimes when it's been pretty frosty on the ground, never ever had a problem with these at all. These are road running shoes, so I do a 10k route along a canal here in Leicester, and part of that goes across trail and track, only for about 1 kilometre, and you know, they're a little bit squirrely when it's really muddy underfoot, but they're not designed for that sort of thing. These are definitely a road running shoe. For road running, absolutely fantastic. Brilliant grip on the bottom, but 500 miles in, I'm losing a little bit of the texture of that base grip, the outsole grip, but not the actual grip underfoot. It still feels very sure-footed and very stable underfoot. So the outsole, I'd definitely give a 4.5 out of 5. These have been absolutely brilliant. And also with the pattern of it, you can probably tell that it follows the bones and the ligaments and things like that in the foot. So they feel great. They're nice and flexible, but still, you know, for that long run or marathon distance or half marathon distance, you know, they got enough give in the sole and enough flexibility just to keep it nice and comfortable on a very long run there. So there's a couple of things that I'm not quite so keen on. One is I mentioned this in my initial review as well, the laces. These laces, all honesty, are rubbish. They're so slippery, but they've got to have some bite to them, so when you actually pull it in, get that nice lockdown across the midfoot, you need something that's going to keep it in place, and this just they just don't. They're pretty naff, to be honest. One thing, they're extremely long. The laces themselves are, you know, unnecessarily ridiculously long, but it's more the fabric that they're actually made from. I've got no problem with the strength, anything like that. You know, I really pull mine in to get a good lockdown, and you know they're really strong, but they're just too slippery. They come undone on every run, so they have to be double knotted. Again, not a massive issue, but when you get home, you know, and it's been freezing cold and you're really cold and it's wet and it's raining and you get in and you got to try and pick away at a double knot, that's the only time they seem to grip. That's the only time they seem to have some bite to them. I just think better laces would have made this, you know, just a complete shoe. Would have been an absolutely fantastic shoe. So, I mean, I could have swapped them out, but they go through that kind of intricate inner, outer lacing system for the lockdown, and I didn't really want to be replacing them. But in hindsight, I probably should have done, to be honest. Even sometimes I've double knotted them on a run, and the double knots have come undone. So, you know, if you're getting out there and you're trying to do a time trial or something like that, beat a PB, and you've got to stop and do your laces up it. Apart from that, I think that's about it, to be honest. The only other thing that I would say is, even though they're by no means heavyweights, they're not the lightest shoe in the world. And I'm quite a skinny guy. I really like shoes on the end of my feet. So when I'm running, you know, I don't really get fatigued by the weight of the shoe. I'm not saying that that's happened in this case, but if you go to mega light shoes, then, you know, you might find that these are a little bit bulky and a little bit heavy for, you know, compared to those. But I think for what they are, daily trainer, absolutely brilliant. I would highly recommend them. I know the 4.5's out now, but if these are a bargain anywhere and you see them and you want a long-term, zero drop, nice wide toe box, lovely daily trainer, brilliant, go for it. Absolutely lovely. 500 miles in. I'm not sure how many more miles I'll get in. I think I'll probably get another 100 in them, something like that, maybe 150 kilometers. But yeah, really pleased with them. Ultra Torin 4, fantastic. Have you had the Ultra Torin 4 or the 4.5? How are you getting on with them? Are they lasting as long as mine? I did see one guy called the Plant Powered Runner who got 2,000 miles in his. He was doing math training, maximum aerobic function, so low heart rate training, so he wasn't being massively aggressive with them, I don't think. But even so, I mean, 2,000 miles is pretty good going. 500 miles, I'm happy with these. So yeah, happy days. Great daily trainer, highly recommended. Have you ran in them? How did you find them? Alright, look forward to hearing from you. Thanks very much for watching. Please do all those nice things, like the video, subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll speak to you next week. Alright, cool. Cheers. Bye.